When I was a kid growing up, the Ford was winning everything. The Shelbys and Cobras were a dominant force in racing, and I was interested even then as a little boy. Slot raced till I was a teenager, and then I got my driver's license. Got a Model A to drive, that one right there. And I fell under the wing, of this guy Bud Hand, who was a brilliant mechanic, self-taught. His father before him was a mechanic. His grandfather before him was a blacksmith. He had 3 sons, and 2 of them were mechanics, and they were off doing their own thing. And I used to hang out with the old man, and he got me involved in this old stuff. And his group of friends, and they were all early hot rodders, guys that started, when they were kids, in the 30s, and as they got to be teenagers in the 40s, they started racing on the dry lakes. And so I heard all these guys and all their stories, and saw all their cars, and got really interested in it, and decided, one day I was going to have a couple of these of my own, and started building the one over there that you started with. And one thing led to another, and all these parts started coming my way, and I kind of became the caretaker as these guys were passing on. One by one, these guys were all way older than me. They were 30 years older than me, and as they all passed on, I started ending up with their pieces. They would will me their tools and their cars and their collections and things. And some of the stuff I kept, and some of the stuff I incorporated into what you see here. And then you realize that the cars, the cars are permanent, and we just kind of wear out around them. There's a whole culture that's purely American, purely Californian, and it's something that nobody can touch, nobody can duplicate. All the sports cars and all the muscle cars and everything were fine, but there's something about a hand-built car that you put together yourself. And when you take it places, and there's other ones, no 2 of them are the same, because we all build to our level of talent, and it's a very personal statement. It's this is my car, this is what I could do, check it out. And it's indescribable how good that is, because anybody can go buy a car, that's easy. But all these cars here have been earned. Hours on the floor building these cars, weeks, months, years collecting parts. That's what makes them special. And they get their character by flaw. They're not perfect. You come up to them and you see things that are maybe a little rusty or a little dingy or maybe don't fit perfectly. You're like, there's some character. And people see that they're hand-built. And that's something that America's lost. And it's a real special part of the American culture that we don't remember anymore because the generations have moved on. But yeah, these cars are very special. There are many Roadster pickups and Phaetons, but nothing like these 2, because each one of them are different. There's millions of these. It's a Model T Ford black car. This year they made almost 1 million cars. It's a 1919. This was the basis for hot rodding. People took these apart and modified them. All the aftermarket parts companies that started back then started for souping up the Model T. So this is the beginning of the California aftermarket and hot rodding situation right here. People wanted to make them go faster. And not really wanting to do it for a living with this stuff because it's a hard way to make money. I've been working in BMW shops most of my life, and the cars come in, get fixed, and go out in one day. It's a nice thing. And it's a great balance. You have farm implement type of cars here, and then you have technology there, and it's amazing how similar they are.